Welcome back. Today we are diving into the fascinating world of United Kingdom coin collecting, focusing on the top 5 most valuable coins from the categories of the sixpence, 20 pence, threepence, 2 pence, and 1 penny. Each of these coins has seen different mint marks, rare errors, and unique years that can dramatically increase their value depending on rarity, demand, and condition. Let's break down the highlights of each denomination and discover which pieces stand out in the auction market. Let's get started. First up, the United Kingdom sixpence from the year 1957. At first glance, it may seem like just another mid-20th century coin, but when examined more closely, it reveals layers of history, artistry, and collector intrigue. In this video, we will take a detailed look at the history of the 1957 sixpence, its design and unique features, how its condition, whether pristine or damaged, affects its desirability, and finally, what kind of market value it commands in auctions today, particularly in US dollars. The sixpence coin has a long and fascinating history in the United Kingdom, dating back to the reign of Edward VI in 1551. It held an important place in British currency until it was eventually phased out in 1980, ahead of decimalisation. The 1957 sixpence was struck during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, who had only been crowned a few years earlier in 1953. This was part of the early coinage issued during her reign, and as such, these coins carry not only monetary significance but also historical value, as they mark the beginning of a new era for Britain and the Commonwealth. The sixpence was worth half a shilling, or 1/40th of a pound sterling, making it a common coin in everyday circulation, often used in shops, wages, and even in cultural traditions like being placed in Christmas puddings for good luck. The 1957 sixpence displays a charming combination of elegance and symbolism. On the obverse, it features the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by sculptor Mary Gillick. This portrait is distinctive because it shows the Queen uncrowned, with her hair tied by a simple wreath of laurels, presenting a fresh and optimistic image of the new monarch. The reverse side is equally striking, featuring a botanical design by William Gardner. This reverse combines 4 national emblems: a rose for England, a thistle for Scotland, a shamrock for Ireland, and a leek for Wales, all tied together to symbolise unity across the United Kingdom. Surrounding the central motif is the denomination 6 pence and the year of issue, 1957. The coin itself was struck in cupra nickel, measuring 19.41 millimeters in diameter and weighing about 2.83 grams. These design choices make it more than just currency. It is a miniature piece of art with national symbolism. When it comes to the rarity of the 1957 sixpence, it is important to note that this coin is not considered particularly scarce in general circulation. Millions were minted, and many still survive today. However, its desirability grows depending on condition. In fine condition, the coin retains much of its detail but shows moderate wear from circulation. While higher grade examples such as extremely fine or uncirculated coins command higher premiums, even coins in fine condition can hold collector value due to their age and historical importance. Interestingly, there is still a niche demand for damaged or heavily worn examples. Collectors often seek them for filler coins in their sets, or because they hold sentimental or nostalgic value. For instance, someone building a date set of sixpence coins from the 1950s might still want a 1957 example regardless of its wear. That said, coins with severe damage such as bends, holes, or corrosion are generally of very low market value. So, what is the 1957 sixpence worth today? In fine condition, this coin typically sells for between $431,000 in the collector's market. Its relatively modest value is due to its high mintage numbers and continued availability. However, prices can rise for better preserved examples. Coins in very fine to extremely fine condition can reach around $321,000, while uncirculated or near-mint examples may command anywhere from $124,000, depending on their sharpness and luster. Auction houses and online marketplaces sometimes see sets of sixpence coins from the 1950s sold together, in which case the 1957 issue contributes to the overall value of the lot. It's worth noting that prices can fluctuate depending on demand, silver content of older sixpences, and interest from international buyers, especially in the United States, where British coins have a steady collector base. If you are considering adding a 1957 sixpence to your collection, there are a few helpful tips to keep in mind. First, pay attention to condition. While a fine example is affordable, it may be worth seeking out a higher grade coin if you want long-term investment value. Look closely at the details of the Queen's portrait and the floral emblems on the reverse. Sharper details indicate less wear and higher desirability. Second, be cautious about cleaning your coin. Cleaning can often damage the surface and reduce value significantly, even if the coin appears shinier afterward. Third, buy from reputable dealers, online platforms with good feedback, or trusted auction houses to avoid counterfeits or altered coins. Finally, consider building a complete set of Elizabeth II sixpence coins from the 1950s and 1960s, as these sets often have greater overall appeal to collectors than individual coins. In summary, the United Kingdom sixpence from 1957 is a coin that tells the story of Britain in the early years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. While it is not an extremely rare coin, it holds historical charm and collector interest, especially when found in better condition. In fine condition, it usually fetches a few dollars, but higher grade examples can bring in more impressive sums at auction. Whether you are a new collector just starting out, or a seasoned numismatist expanding your British coin collection, the 1957 sixpence remains a fascinating piece to own. Its combination of artistry, symbolism, and history makes it a small but meaningful addition to any collection. Next up, the United Kingdom 20p coin from 1983. While it might look like an ordinary pocket change piece, this particular coin has an interesting story tied to its history, rarity, and collector demand. We'll explore its background, design features, market value in dollars, and why even a circulated coin in fine condition could still hold importance to collectors worldwide. The 20p coin was introduced in the United Kingdom in 1982 as part of a modernization of the currency system. It was the first seven-sided coin struck in the UK and represented a new denomination that bridged the gap between the 10p and 50p coins. The coin was designed during a period when the Royal Mint was focusing on creating practical yet distinctive coins that could be easily recognized by shape and size. By 1983, the 20p was still relatively new, but the year is significant because it coincided with several important changes in British coinage, including the introduction of commemorative issues for collectors. The 1983 20p forms part of that early history, making it more appealing to numismatists. One of the most distinctive features of the 1983 20p coin is its heptagonal shape, a seven-sided design that was revolutionary at the time. On the obverse, the coin features a young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This portrait was widely used on UK coins during the 1970s and 1980s. On the reverse, designed by William Gardner, you'll find a crowned Tudor rose, a classic emblem of England and a symbol of unity and heritage. The inscription reads 20p with the date, 1983, positioned at the bottom. Its size, weight of 5 grams, and cupronickel composition give it durability, but its sharp edges and iconic design make it stand out in any coin collection. When we talk about rarity, it's important to separate the 1983 20p from more common years. While it was not as scarce as the famous 1983 new pence 2p era, the 20p coins from this year are less frequently found in top condition. In fine circulated condition, they are often seen with scratches, wear, and handling damage due to their regular use in commerce. However, even coins that are worn still hold collector interest, especially among those building year-by-year date sets. Collectors value early-issue coins like this because they mark the first years of a denomination's life. Furthermore, coins in damaged or fine condition can still be desirable for beginners who want affordable examples before moving on to high-grade pieces. While not a great rarity, the 1983 20p does carry more appeal than its modern counterparts because of its early date and connection to the coinage reforms of the 1980s. So, how much is a 1983 20p coin in circulated fine condition worth today? On average, these coins can sell between $325,000 depending on the degree of wear, with some examples in better condition fetching slightly more. At auction, heavily circulated or damaged pieces don't usually command high prices, but they still sell above face value due to collector demand. Exceptional examples in uncirculated condition can reach higher values, sometimes $126,000, especially if they are part of a mint or proof set. While this might not sound like a fortune, it's still significantly more than the coin's original face value of just 20p, showing how even ordinary coins can become collectible over time. For anyone interested in collecting the 1983 20p coin, here are a few useful tips. First, pay close attention to the condition. While fine circulated coins are affordable, better preserved examples will always hold greater long-term value. Second, consider collecting the 20p coins as part of a complete date run from 1982 onwards. This makes the collection more historically significant. Third, when buying online, check for authenticity and avoid polished or cleaned coins, as cleaning can reduce collector value. Lastly, keep in mind that coin values can rise over time, especially for early issues, so holding on to a 1983 coin in decent condition could be a smart investment for the future. In summary, the United Kingdom 20p coin from 1983 may not be the rarest coin in British history, but it represents an important early step in the development of modern UK coinage. Its seven-sided shape, iconic Tudor rose design, and connection to the reign of Queen Elizabeth II make it an attractive piece for collectors. Even in circulated fine condition, it holds a small but steady market value, with auctions often showing a willingness from collectors to pay above face value. Whether you're just starting your collection or already an experienced numismatist, the 1983 20p is a coin worth having not only for its historical context but also for the story it tells about Britain's evolving currency system. Next up, the 1937 United Kingdom 3p in fine condition. This small but historically significant coin has captured the attention of collectors worldwide due to its intriguing design, rich history, and surprising auction value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this episode will give you a clear insight into what makes the 1937 3p so desirable and how much it's worth in today's market, especially in US dollars. The 1937 3p coin marked the beginning of a new era for British coinage under King George VI, who ascended to the throne after the abdication of his brother, Edward VIII. This coin was the first brass threepence of his reign, replacing the earlier silver versions. It was introduced as part of a modernization effort to make coins more durable and distinguishable, particularly for the visually impaired. The 1937 issue represents a transitional point in British currency and reflects the changes taking place in the country just before World War II. What makes the 1937 3p stand out is its distinctive 12-sided shape, a first for a circulating British coin. Made from a brass alloy of 79% copper, 20% zinc, and 1% nickel, it was heavier and thicker than its silver predecessors. On the obverse, you'll find the left-facing portrait of King George VI, designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget. The reverse features a striking design of a Tudor portcullis with chains, designed by Francis Madge Kitchener, which would go on to symbolize the coin for years to come. This unique shape and composition helped it stand out in pockets and tills, making it one of the most recognizable coins of the era. Although the 1937 3p had a relatively high mintage compared to later issues, its appeal lies in being the first year of issue for the brass threepence series under George VI. Coins from 1937 that have survived in high grades are increasingly scarce. Even in fine condition, the coin attracts collectors because it represents a key date in British numismatic history. Interestingly, even damaged or heavily worn examples hold a certain appeal due to their historical significance, particularly among beginner collectors looking for affordable entry points into British coin collecting. The first-year status makes it much more desirable than later dates of the same series. Now to the part everyone's waiting for: the value. In today's market, a 1937 3p in fine condition typically sells for around $414,000, depending on eye appeal, wear, and demand at the time of sale. However, coins in extremely fine or uncirculated condition can command much higher prices, often reaching $321,000 at auctions or from specialist dealers. Interestingly, error strikes, proof versions, or coins with exceptional provenance have been known to fetch even more. While this coin isn't worth hundreds of dollars in standard condition, its affordability and historical importance make it a very attractive collectible. If you're considering adding the 1937 3p to your collection, there are a few tips to keep in mind. First, always check the condition carefully. Coins with original luster and minimal wear are far more valuable than heavily circulated examples. Second, watch for cleaned or polished coins, as these can significantly reduce collector value. Third, consider purchasing from reputable dealers or auction houses to avoid counterfeits or misattributed coins. Finally, holding on to higher grade examples can pay off over time, as demand for early George VI brass threepences continues to grow. The 1937 United Kingdom 3p may be small in size, but it carries a big story. As the first brass threepence under King George VI, it represents a pivotal shift in British coinage. Its unique design, historical significance, and affordable price make it a great choice for collectors of all levels. Whether you're buying it for its history, its design, or its investment potential, this coin is a fascinating addition to any collection. Next up, the United Kingdom 2p coin from 1993 in circulation condition. At first glance, this may seem like an ordinary coin with little significance, but when we dive into its history, features, and market trends, you'll see why collectors still keep a close eye on even the most common pennies. We'll explore its background, rarity, collector demand, auction market value in dollars, and give you some useful tips if you're thinking about collecting or selling one. The 2p coin was first introduced in 1971 during the decimalisation of the British currency system. The United Kingdom shifted from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system to the modern decimal system, and the 2p coin became one of the new decimal denominations. The 1993 issue comes from the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, featuring her third portrait by sculptor Raphael McLouth, which was used on British coins between 1985 and 1997. This portrait is instantly recognizable, with the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem. The coin itself was struck in bronze until 1992, but by 1993, the Royal Mint had transitioned to copper-plated steel due to rising metal costs. This makes the 1993 coin part of the new era of 2p pieces. The obverse of the 1993 2p coin displays Queen Elizabeth II's third definitive portrait, with a Latin inscription Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The reverse of the coin, designed by Christopher Ironside, features the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, with a ribbon bearing the German motto ICHDN meaning I serve. The coin is round, has a diameter of 25.9 mm, weighs 7.12 grams, and was minted in copper-plated steel, which is magnetic. This transition from bronze to steel gives it a unique place in UK coin history, marking the modern shift in coin production materials. When we talk about rarity, the 1993 2p coin does not fall into the category of scarce or hard-to-find coins, as millions were minted for circulation. However, collector interest remains because of its role in the material transition and its place within complete year sets. Even in circulation or damaged condition, some collectors may seek them to fill gaps in their collections. Unlike error coins or limited mintage pieces, the 1993 coin's rarity lies not in scarcity, but in the growing nostalgia around coins from the 1990s. Damaged coins, those with scratches, dents, or heavy wear, are generally less appealing to serious collectors, but they can still attract interest from beginners or casual hobbyists who want affordable examples to complete a collection. In terms of market value, the 1993 2p coin in normal circulated condition is quite modest. On average, these coins are worth between $531,000 in the United States market, largely reflecting their face value in the UK. In damaged condition, the value usually remains at the lowest end of this range. However, if you come across a well-preserved uncirculated coin, it can fetch around $221,000 at auctions or coin shows. Proof versions or error varieties such as misstrikes can sell for higher amounts, sometimes reaching $125,000 depending on rarity and buyer interest. While not a high-value coin, the 1993 2p still holds some market activity, especially in bulk sales or complete decimal coin sets. If you're interested in collecting the 1993 2p, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, always check the condition. While circulated and damaged examples are common, higher-grade coins or those with minimal wear have more value to serious collectors. Second, consider building a complete 2p year set. Collectors often enjoy having every year of issue, and the 1993 coin plays an important role as part of the copper-plated steel era. Third, keep an eye out for error coins. Misstrikes, off-center strikes, or coins with missing plating can be far more valuable than ordinary examples. Finally, storing your coins properly in albums or protective holders will help preserve their condition and future value. The United Kingdom 2p coin from 1993 may not be rare in circulation, but still carries historical and collectible significance. It represents a transition period in UK coinage, moving from bronze to copper-plated steel, and it features the beloved third portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. While its auction market value in dollars is modest, ranging from just a few cents in damaged condition to a few dollars in uncirculated examples, it remains a worthy addition for anyone building a comprehensive collection of British decimal coins. For collectors, every coin tells a story, and the 1993 2p is a reminder of how even the smallest denominations can offer insights into history, design, and the evolution of money. Next up, the United Kingdom 1p coin from the year 1940, specifically in fine condition. This coin might look like just another pre-decimal British penny, but collectors worldwide are fascinated by its historical background, unique design, and the place it holds in the market. We'll walk through its history, design details, rarity, collector demand, and of course, its current auction market value in dollars. If you're a coin collector or just starting your journey, this is definitely a coin worth learning about. The 1941 penny coin was minted during a pivotal time in British history, right in the midst of the Second World War. Struck under the reign of King George VI, this coin was part of the pre-decimal currency system used in the United Kingdom before the switch to decimalisation in 1971. At the time, 1 penny represented a small but meaningful amount of money in everyday life, and millions were produced for circulation. Despite its high mintage, many coins from this period were subject to wartime handling, heavy circulation, and eventually withdrawal, which makes well-preserved examples more desirable today. The 1940 penny represents not only a piece of currency but also a relic of Britain's resilience during wartime. The obverse of the coin features the portrait of King George VI, designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget. His profile faces left, and the Latin inscription around the edge reads Georgiv 6D GBROMN Rexf laughing smiley INDIMP, which translates to George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. This inscription reflects Britain's global empire at the time. Adding a layer of historical significance on the reverse, you'll find Britannia, the female personification of Britain, seated facing right, holding a trident and shield, with a lighthouse in the background. This iconic design by Leonard Charles Wyon had been in use since the mid-19th century, making it a timeless symbol of British pride and naval strength. The date, 1940, is displayed prominently below Britannia. The coin is made of bronze, measuring 30.8 mm in diameter and weighing about 9.4 grams, making it a large and heavy coin compared to modern pennies. Now, while the 1940 penny had a large mintage, its true value lies in condition and demand. In fine condition, the coin is considered common but collectible, as many examples survived circulation. However, damaged or heavily worn examples still attract interest from beginner collectors due to their affordability. Collectors often use these coins as filler pieces until they can upgrade to better preserved versions. Even coins with scratches, discoloration, or edge knocks find buyers, especially among those who are more interested in history than pristine condition. This means that while the 1940 penny isn't rare in the strictest sense, its historical context and age ensure steady demand across the market. When it comes to value, the 1941 penny in fine condition usually sells in the modest range of $534,000. Coins with heavier wear or noticeable damage might fetch closer to the lower end of this scale, while better examples in very fine or extremely fine condition can reach $324,000. In uncirculated or mint state, the price can rise significantly, sometimes exceeding $322,000, depending on eye appeal and quality. Auction houses and online platforms like eBay occasionally see bidding wars for high-grade examples, but for everyday collectors, the fine condition coin remains an affordable and accessible way to own a piece of British history from the wartime era. If you're interested in collecting the 1941 penny, here are some tips to keep in mind. First, always pay attention to condition. The clearer the portrait of King George VI and the details on Britannia, the higher the value. Secondly, be wary of corrosion and cleaning. Bronze coins are particularly susceptible to environmental damage, and improperly cleaned coins often lose collector appeal. Third, consider buying from reputable dealers or auction sites to avoid counterfeits, although counterfeit risk for this particular penny is relatively low compared to rarer coins. Finally, if you're aiming to build a complete set of George VI pennies, the 1940 issue is an important and affordable addition that helps connect your collection to Britain's wartime history. To sum it up, the The 1940 United Kingdom 1 penny in fine condition is not a rare coin, but it holds great historical value and steady collector demand. Its design, featuring both King George VI and Britannia, reflects a crucial time in Britain's past, making it a cherished piece for history lovers and coin enthusiasts alike. While its auction market value in dollars is modest, ranging between $121,000 in fine condition, it becomes more valuable in higher grades. Whether you're just starting out or adding depth to an existing collection, the 1940 penny remains a worthwhile and affordable coin to own. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on rare and valuable coins from around the world.